So we're dealing with a unique experience, a one-off in our terms. We're in uncharted waters. Even since the 70 floods, there's been so many changes to the topography and the like that we really don't know what we're facing. But what we are in reality facing is a significant flooding event where a fair majority of the lower part of Latrobe has been inundated with floodwater. We've got residences and part of the shopping centre has been inundated, where our priority has been since last night has been working through the area, ensuring people are either evacuated or know that they need to evacuate. That's been our priority right from the start of when we were alerted to the significance of the issue. But we're really grateful for the support that's been provided to us. We've got the SES, we've got the police, the fire services, we've got the army, we've got the helicopter currently evacuating people from areas that are now inaccessible by road. And our priority, as I say, is really about rescuing people, ensuring people are evacuated to safety, and then dealing with their issues from that point on. We've established an evacuation centre at the East Port Recreation Centre. We're providing transport to that centre from Latrobe, and we're asking people if they need assistance to contact council or the SES, and if it's a life-saving issue, then it needs to be 000. But we're doing everything we can, and all the resources are being thrown at it that we can muster. And at this stage, we're just trying to manage as best we can.
Could you tell us, just give us an overview of what's actually happened in terms of how many places have been flooded or damage has happened so far?
So flooding to date has been restricted to the lower part of Latrobe, and it's affecting the main street area, plus some residential area closer to the river.
How many properties, how many businesses or houses have been inundated?
Approximately about 20 houses have some effect. I'm surrounded by water, I've got water entering the premises, along with businesses as well.
Is the northwest is affected like this as much as Latrobe?
The main river systems that are affected by the flooding is the Mersey and the Forth River. Whilst they've received a lot of rain in the other areas, it hasn't resulted in river flooding.
Do you expect the rivers to continue to rise, or are they falling?
We're watching the rivers closely. We're not sure when the rivers will peak. We're watching the river heights further upstream, trying to predict their flood peak, which will give us a bit of an indication on when we'll get a peak here and when we're likely to see the water starting to drop.
Given that both the Mersey and the Forth are tidal rivers, the incoming tide, when do you expect that to impact?
We've got a high tide about now, so luckily the peak is expected to come later in the day. It's going to be during a period when the tide is out or running out, so we think that's going to work in our favour. What
roads are closed at the moment?
Railton Road's closed to cars. The road between Frogmore and Tarleton is also closed. River Road is closed, and the Bridle Track Road that I know of at the moment.
The Axemen's Hall of Fame, has that received any storm damage at this stage?
No, the Axemen's at this stage hasn't been inundated with water. We did evacuate a couple who live down there and look after the Heritage Cottage that's in that precinct. We evacuated them yesterday afternoon, but at this stage it doesn't look like the buildings have been inundated.
We're hearing that this is the worst flooding in 50 years at Latrobe.
That's my understanding. Best of my recollection is 1970s when we had a flood of a similar size, but this one seems to be a little bit different. As I said, there's been changes out at Frogmore in the paddocks out there. The train line's been removed, for example, and the embankment that was associated with that. That's something we haven't been able to factor in, and we don't know the impact of that. So we're dealing with almost a new event, and that's going to be very difficult to manage.
Shane, what's the response from the police in regards to what's happening here?
Listen, we've got a pretty clear message that we want to get out to members of the public right now, and that is, one, do not drive through flooded roads. We are encountering significant amounts of calls for people who are doing exactly that, and we're having to rescue them from those vehicles. So please tell your family, tell your friends, tell your neighbours to not do that. It is dangerous. We are expecting further weather, we're expecting further rain, and we're planning for that right now. We have significant assets on the ground, as the Mayor's explained. including the ADF, who have quite a big vehicle who can actually go through some of these flooded waters and help us with evacuations. We are lucky to have the helicopter here at the moment, and that is being our number one asset to actually get some people from these flooded houses.
How many people have had to be rescued?
A number, quite a number. Certainly over a dozen at this stage, and it's continuing as we speak.
With that helicopter rescue, is that actually people having to be, I suppose, sort of winched out, or is the helicopter landing on properties where they're surrounded by flood water and taking off?
It's winching them out. I think there have been just another couple where they've been able to land near the residents where they're inundated, but luckily through council and their records, council are calling the properties so that we have the direct information to them to see whether they actually need some assistance or not, and that's where we're directing the helicopter as we go.
So you've set up a command post at the Latrobe Council Chambers. Is that where people should contact if they've got issues?
Through the council is a great avenue for contact for us. If it's an emergency, 000 is the best number to call. Or if they are not in an emergency situation and would just like to log the fact that they have issues, that 131 444 is the number to ring. Now, we're expecting this event to continue for perhaps the next 8, 12, 24 hours, so we need to be prepared and the public need to be prepared for that.
Is there any sandbagging or prevention measures going on?
SES is currently undertaking some sandbagging operations as well as in conjunction with council. We're trying to sandbag businesses before the water hits those premises, and just trying to prepare the people, get their belongings up out of the water, get them out of their houses before it's too late.
Have we got an overall idea of how many people are involved in the rescues and all this work that's going on at the moment?
There's a significant amount of people on the ground. We're managing that from both here and Devonport Police Station. I can't give you the exact number, but what I can say is that this event is emerging, and Ulverston is becoming an issue for us as well with the Forth River. So it's going to continue to grow.
The council itself has at least 20 to 30 people on the ground and office staff working on it as well. I'd estimate we'd have 100 people involved in this directly, and a lot of people in the background working as well. So significant numbers, but we've got issues right across the coast that we have to deal with, and the emergency services are really stretched in this instance, but full credit to them. Many of them work through the night and are continuing to work. Many of our staff did likewise. We're really grateful, but we really do need people to stay away from the areas that have been inundated. People's interest is really causing us a problem with having to manage spectators when those resources should be used rescuing people and assisting property owners. So please stay at home if you can, and assist us by keeping out of the way.
What time last night, for want of a better word, was the alert raised?
We had people working from mid-afternoon onwards, and as I say, we worked right through the night. I got my first call about 1:37 this morning, but there were many people out before me, and it's been ongoing since that time.
Mr Dick, how many people have been evacuated from homes, and how many do you think are at that Devonport evacuation centre?
I haven't got the exact number at the moment. Significant number, mainly elderly people, but people that are unable to relocate themselves.
I think the message for that is the evacuation centre is a last resort. If people have got family and friends who can look after them, we're asking them to go to those localities first.
What about livestock? There's a lot of dairy farms along the banks of the Mersey River. How has that been impacted?
We're hearing anecdotal evidence to suggest that there's been significant livestock losses. That's a concern, of course, and it will be for the livelihood of those people who are affected by it. But our priority has to be and will remain on people and ensuring people are safely out of the harm's way, and that people understand that that's where we need to be focusing on, I'm sure.